Hey, SongTown, I'm Marty Dodson. I'm here with Clay Mills. Today we're going to talk about things that 99% of songwriters get wrong. So we got 4 things. Clay, you want to kick it off?
I do. And this comes from the thousands of songs we've heard that come through SongTown. And it's all stuff that we probably did starting out. And we had to figure it out in order to start having some success. We had to figure out, how to take our songs to the next level. So for me, I think the first thing, and it's so hard when you start, is learning to stop chasing the trends. There's an old saying that if you're not the lead dog, the scenery never changes.
Yeah.
So when you have a team of dogs, pulling a sled, if you're not the dog in front, all you're seeing is
Dog butt.
dog butt. Well, I wasn't going to go that far, but yeah,
Yeah.
visually
That's what you see.
that's what you see. So, and it's hard because you want your songs to fit in and you want to prove that your songs can be just like all the songs that are out there and being popular. Now, not everyone wants to do this. We know there are plenty of you guys that are renegades, but if your goal is to try to, get songs that are streaming like crazy or get on radio or, into movies, and it's what we all do naturally is we emulate those things that we really like in the beginning. But you got to get to the point where you're coming up with things that are different, where you're developing your own voice, your own style. That's when you take it to the next level.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get these great sounding Suno demos, and at first glance you go, oh, that sounds amazing. But at the same token, like somebody I co-wrote a song with a couple of years ago sent me a demo, and they go, oh, I just did this demo of our song we wrote a couple of years ago. What do you think? And my first thought was, gosh, this sounds dated, And then they told me that they had run it through Suno, and I was like, oh, that's what you get. You get what's been done before. Personally, for me and for everyone I know, like you, we didn't get any level of success by doing what's been done before. We had to create something that was new, cutting edge, fresh. If you send Morgan Wallen a demo and you're going, you want to get his team to cut this song, it's going to be hard if it just sounds like something they've heard before, or if the singer is straight down the middle. You've got to have an interesting voice. You've got to have an interesting motif on an instrument. You just can't be average.
Yeah. I think one thing that I tell songwriters all the time is your particular point of view is your secret weapon.
That's it. That's the one thing AI doesn't have. It doesn't have a point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about all the great artists that we loved over the years, I'm thinking now I liked them because of their point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. All right,
brilliant.
I got one. Brilliant. One that I see a lot is people going to extremes. So either they're writing music that sounds like the music they grew up on.
Right.
Or they're writing stuff that's weird and way out there. Like they're trying to be
so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I told them not to chase trends. So now they're doing something that's so whacked out, nobody can relate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, I knew someone that would just he would see how many chords he could put into the song.
Right.
Well, no artist and their band wants a song that's really hard to play every night.
But look him up. He's in Guinness World Book of Records. The first song to have 59 chords in it.
No, he's not. But my first publisher used to have this game he played with when he wrote with an artist. He would say, I'm going to write down who I think your musical influence was, and then you're going to tell me. So he would write down, and he was like 75% or more. He got it after writing with them one time because they've defaulted to these things that were little tells like, oh, yeah, that's like Waylon Jennings did that thing or whatever
it's
it
like
might be.
James Taylor from 1976.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think looking, making sure that you're in the sweet spot in the middle of what you grew up on and something that's so weird and out there, that's the stuff that's on the radio or that streams or whatever is stuff that's in the middle. It's not usually way out there weird or way, retro like something else.
I can hear the comments now. People say, well, that's what's wrong. Everything in music sounds the same. I think, honestly, if you're into a genre of music, it doesn't all sound the same.
Yeah.
But if you don't particularly like a genre, then it all sounds the same to you.
Yeah.
So if you tell me, oh, it all sounds the same, well, I mean, take a look at the top 5 in country this week or the top 5 in pop. You're going to see a wide variety of styles, from traditional country all the way to pop country. On the pop charts, there's going to be something that sounds like the 80s. There's going to be something that sounds more modern. There's a lot of variety there. But if you're not into it, you're going to go, oh, that all sounds the same to me.
Yeah.
And it's really just because you're into something that's totally doesn't sound like that.
Yeah. What's your next one?
My next one would be learning to separate the production from the song. So we call that kind of the campfire trick. If you can sit around a campfire and sing a song a cappella, or you can play on an acoustic guitar and sing it and everybody's singing along, that's in essence your song. A production is going to be all the elements you put on top of that. You're going to have your drum groove, your chord changes. You're going to have all these things that make up the track. And if you learn, because it's so easy, especially if you're writing to a track, to just get so blown away by how cool the track sounds. And then you've forgotten to write a good song, to go along with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times, I heard John Mayer the other day in an interview, he's like, I don't turn on a drum loop until I can sit on my acoustic guitar and play something that I know is a solid song. Then I start building the production. And I know not all styles are like that. If you're doing EDM music, sometimes it's all about the production.
Mm-hmm.
That the production is the song.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about lyrics and melody, that's got to be solid, and it's got to be separate. It's got to stand alone. I mean, just case in point, we've had songs that were hits in country that somebody comes out and does a dance version with. I had a number 1 dance song on the same song that was a top 5 country song. 2 different artists, 2 different worlds. Mm-hmm. But it was because the bones of that song were solid.
Yeah.
I've been talking a lot.
That's quite all right. So
I never talk much in real life, so this is a treat for me.
Number 4 is writing the obvious.
Yes.
So many times when I'm working with people and mentoring, like every rhyme is obvious. Yeah. Every melody note is obvious. It's like, I can predict where the melody's going to go. And, so to have something that stands out, this kind of goes back to your comment about you can't do what's been done before. But
yeah, you got to be different.
Yeah. You don't have to have everything that stands out, but you have to have places where it's like, oh, I didn't see that coming, lyrically or rhyme-wise or with a melody choice. Or a rhythmic change in choice, there's got to be something that's not the obvious, because otherwise these people in the music business that have heard thousands and thousands of songs are just going to go, yep, heard that
or
one.
The audience.
Yeah, or the audience. Concentrate on and making sure that you're not writing everything in your song so obviously.
Yeah.
That there's some surprises for me here and there. There's some little nuggets of ear candy, whether it's lyric or melody or rhythm, that surprise me, because I love it when I hear a song and something jumps out and I go, oh, I didn't see that coming, but that's a cool thing that they did right there,
Yeah, we had a commenter on our last video where we were talking about our first number 1s we had, and they go, well, you guys had some cliche lines in those songs. It's not about every line has to be totally original. You want to have some conversational stuff You know, you want people to be able to relate to your song. But if you do have a figure of speech, that's common, if you set it up in a way that's not cliche, then it totally is something that it's a hook that pulls people in. It's when you do something, you rhyme the same line with an obvious line right after it, and everything is obvious and cliche. Yeah. You just got to have a balance of that stuff. You can't say never have a cliche in a song, right. You know. Then people aren't going to know what you're talking about half the time. So it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's a scale.
It is. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, y'all. Right on.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you appreciate the content, hit the subscribe button and help us grow. Shout out to Sweetwater Music. It's where Marty and I get all our musical gear. Great people. We'll see you guys around town. Right on.